the quiet before the storm. 3 millennia of peace had left humanity complacent. The Galactic Coalition, a council of dozens of advanced species, had maintained harmony for 3,000 years. Trade agreements, cultural exchanges, and joint scientific projects had flourished across hundreds of star systems. But not everyone in the galaxy welcomed humanity's success. On the alien world of Zephyron Prime, a lush planet with violet oceans and floating archipelagos, Chancellor Voktrel paced in the council chamber. His 3 arms waved emphatically, a gesture of frustration that was customary among his species, the Zaltrians. For millennia, the Zaltrians had been scholars, explorers, and diplomats. But something had changed. Our pacifist policies have failed. Voktrel roared. The humans grow stronger each century while we waste time in negotiations. Beside him, Admiral Skor, a veteran of Zephyron space fleets, tilted his massive head. His bioluminescent crest glowed with irritation. Chancellor, what exactly do you propose? Attack them? After 3,000 years of peace? Voktrel's eyes narrowed. Yes. Precisely. They have grown complacent in their arrogance. It is time to remind the galaxy why we feared the Zaltrians before the coalition was formed. Meanwhile, across the galaxy on Earth, Captain Arya Holt of the Terran Defense Command monitored routine traffic near the Alpha Centauri corridor. Her ship, the Sentinel Horizon, was one of humanity's newest patrol vessels, a marvel of hybrid propulsion and quantum shields. Arya sipped her synthetic coffee and glanced at the navigation display. The galaxy had been quiet for centuries. True peace. A quiet that felt almost unnatural to someone trained to anticipate the unexpected. Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Malik Wren, spoke. Captain, sensors are picking up unusual warp signatures near Zephyron Prime. Arya raised an eyebrow. Unusual how? Malik adjusted the readout. Large-scale fleet movement, but nothing registered in coalition databases. No diplomatic convoys, no trade, nothing. It's irregular. Arya leaned forward. Send a coded inquiry. Identify all vessels. Let's make sure it isn't a drill. Back on Zephyron Prime, the Zaltrian fleet readied itself in secret. Hundreds of massive warships, each designed to harness the planet's unique crystal energy cores, assembled along the outer orbit of Zephyron. The fleet had been in covert preparation for decades, hidden under the guise of research missions. As the warships powered up, Voktrel addressed his generals. In less than a cycle, humanity will know that the age of peace is over. They will laugh at us at first, of course. Humans always underestimate the threat until it is too late. On Earth, the Sentinel Horizon received the encrypted reply from Zephyron Prime. It was surprisingly formal and polite. Greetings, Coalition Representative. All is in order. No threats detected. Enjoy your patrol. Arya frowned. Something doesn't feel right. She activated the ship-wide alert system. Suddenly, the sensors lit up with hundreds of Zaltrian warships emerging from transwarp corridors around Zephyron Prime. Energy shields flared, and weapon systems activated automatically. Malik's eyes widened. Captain, that's a full-scale fleet. Arya's calm facade never faltered. Report to the fleet command. Humanity has protocols for this exact scenario. Within minutes, ships across the Sol system responded. The Terran Defense Command had maintained secret rapid response fleets for decades, hidden beneath civilian starports and deep space hangars. The human fleet was unlike any other in the galaxy. Every vessel carried modular ecosystems, self-sustaining quantum reactors, and AI-assisted combat networks. Humans had spent millennia preparing for just this moment, even if no one suspected it. Voktrel watched the viewscreen aboard the flagship Oblivion's Wrath as humanity's first vessels appeared on the horizon. He expected panic. Fear. Desperation. Instead, the humans did something no Zaltrian had predicted. They laughed. Arya's voice came over universal communication channels, calm and almost amused. Good evening, Chancellor Voktrel. I hope your fleet isn't expecting a warm welcome. We were wondering when you'd finally decide to break the peace. The laughter wasn't mockery. It was confidence born of centuries of ingenuity, science, and preparation. Humans had built fleets that could survive in deep space for decades, repair themselves, and fight with tactics that even the Coalition had never imagined. Voktrel's tentacles twitched in confusion. How can they be so calm? Admiral Skor's crest pulsed brightly. Chancellor, I think we may have underestimated them. On the Sentinel Horizon, Arya gave her first order. Deploy defensive formations and prepare for engagement. Let's show them that peace is not weakness. Within moments, humanity's fleet moved with precision, weaving through Zephyron's orbital defenses while avoiding destructive clashes. They demonstrated a strategy that combined calculated risk with overwhelming force readiness. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, news of the sudden Zaltrian aggression reached other coalition members. Systems that had relied on the 3,000-year peace now braced for chaos. Many were already sending envoys to Earth, seeking guidance. Arya Holt watched the movements of the alien fleet with detached fascination. Humans have a long history of turning aggression into opportunity, she said softly to Malik. History is a great teacher if you're willing to learn. Malik nodded. Captain, you think we can really stop them without war? Arya's eyes gleamed. No. But we can make sure the first strike will be their last mistake. The stars above Zephyron Prime glowed with the light of approaching warships. Humanity's fleet was a testament to innovation, resilience, and unity. It was the perfect answer to 3,000 years of complacency. Voktrel's plans for conquest were about to collide with human ingenuity. And for the first time in millennia, the galaxy would witness a species that laughed in the face of an interstellar war. The quiet before the storm had ended. The first clash. The Zephyron Prime system shivered under the sudden activation of the Zaltrian fleet. Hundreds of massive warships, each bristling with crystal energy cannons and advanced shield matrices, moved in intricate formations around the violet oceans and floating archipelagos of the planet below. Captain Arya Holt of the Sentinel Horizon hovered in the command chair, eyes fixed on the holographic tactical display. Her fleet had emerged from hidden stations across the Sol system. Unlike the Zaltrians, human vessels were sleek, modular, and self-sustaining. They could operate independently for decades without resupply, a feature born from centuries of preparation for scenarios the galaxy had thought impossible. Lieutenant Malik Wren studied the sensor output. Captain, their formations are irregular but highly coordinated. They're expecting us to act predictably. They're trying to force a mistake. Arya smiled faintly. Then let's be unpredictable. She tapped the console. Deploy phased attack vectors. Keep defensive shields at maximum and engage in tactical rotation. Let's see how they handle human adaptability. From orbit above Zephyron Prime, Admiral Score observed the human fleet with disbelief. Chancellor, they're laughing at us. That's impossible. No species in the galaxy dares face the Zaltrians without fear. Voktrel's tentacles twitched in anger. Do not mistake humor for weakness. Destroy them. Below, the first engagement began. Human fighter squadrons, piloted by AI-assisted crews, streamed through the Zaltrian formations. They dodged crystal energy blasts with precision maneuvers designed to exploit weaknesses in the alien ship's shield harmonics. Meanwhile, the capital ships of the human fleet deployed modular drones. These tiny units could merge into any structure, temporarily boosting shields or diverting incoming fire. One drone swarm entered the path of a Zaltrian dreadnought, synchronizing with the ship's systems to reflect several energy blasts back at the attackers. Voktrel's eyes widened in shock. Impossible. Our shields are being used against us. Arya activated her first offensive strategy. The human fleet rotated in complex patterns, creating overlapping energy fields that absorbed and redirected enemy fire. It was not brute force, it was science applied in battle. Admiral, Malik said, pointing at the display, their flagship, the Oblivion's Wrath, is trying to flank us on the starboard side. Arya nodded. Let them try. Initiate counterflanking sequence theta. Rotate the Sentinel Horizon and deploy auxiliary fire drones in tandem with the outer fleet. The Zaltrian flagship fired a volley of crystal beam cannons. Energy struck the human fleet, but instead of panic, the humans adapted. Shield matrices reconfigured automatically, dispersing energy across multiple layers, reducing damage to a fraction of its potential. From the ground on Zephyron Prime, observers watched in amazement. The humans moved as if the fleet were a single organism, anticipating every attack. How can one species coordinate like this? Muttered one junior officer. The battle escalated. Hundreds of Zaltrian ships launched simultaneous volleys of energy blasts. Humans responded not by brute counterattack, but with ingenuity. Mines that self-adjusted trajectory patterns, cloaked drones that disrupted targeting systems, and adaptive energy reflectors turned the Zaltrians' weapons against themselves. On the Sentinel Horizon, Arya kept calm, issuing commands with precision. Maintain rotational maneuvers. Keep the drones active. Don't let them predict your next move. Across the battlefield, the first Zaltrian dreadnought exploded in a brilliant flash. The other warships hesitated. Human fleet tactics had demonstrated not raw power but efficiency and intelligence. Voktrel's tentacles slammed against the console. This cannot be. Humanity should fear us. They should beg for mercy. Admiral Score's crest glowed with hesitation. Chancellor, they are not just confident, they are superior in strategy. Meanwhile, humanity was gathering intelligence in real time. Each Zaltrian vessel's movements were logged, analyzed, and used to adapt fleet formations instantly. Quantum AI algorithms predicted attacks before the Zaltrians even executed them. Every failed maneuver by the Zaltrians was a lesson, applied immediately across the human fleet. Hours into the engagement, the Zaltrians attempted a massive flank from behind Zephyron's floating archipelagos. Their intent was to crush the human fleet against the planet's orbital defenses. Arya anticipated the maneuver. Activate phase inversion shields along the flank. Prepare counterstrike drones for immediate deployment. Let's see how they handle human reflexes. As the Zaltrians surged forward, their energy beams struck the inversion shields. Energy was dispersed and reflected across multiple drones, creating a chain reaction that caused the approaching ships to lose coordination. Chaos erupted in the Zaltrian fleet. Energy misfires, collisions, and cascading system failures left dozens of ships vulnerable. Humanity seized the advantage. Strategic strikes disabled key warp drives and weapon arrays, leaving only a few functional vessels. On Zephyron Prime, Voktrel roared. Regroup. Regroup immediately. Do not let them survive this. But even as reinforcements attempted to join the battle, human tactics anticipated every move. By the end of the day, over a third of the Zaltrian fleet was disabled or in retreat. The humans had not only survived the first strike, they had proven their ingenuity and preparation. Arya addressed her fleet. Hold positions. Allow the Zaltrians to retreat if they wish. Today, we demonstrated what humanity can do when faced with aggression. This is not war, it is the beginning of understanding our strength. Back on Zephyron Prime, the alien leaders convened in panic. 3,000 years of peace shattered, whispered one council member. And they laughed while doing it. Voktrel's tentacles quivered. Next time, they will not laugh. Next time, humanity will pay. But humanity had already proven a lesson that would echo across the galaxy. Fear is not a prerequisite for survival. Knowledge, preparation, and ingenuity were stronger weapons than any fleet of crystal cannons. The first clash was over. Humanity had not only survived the surprise attack, it had laughed in the face of war. Humanity strikes back. The Zephyron Prime system lay in partial ruin. The first clash had left dozens of Zaltrian warships disabled, drifting like metallic ghosts against the violet oceans and floating archipelagos. Yet, the Zaltrians were far from defeated. Their anger was palpable, spreading across the council chambers and fleet command centers. Chancellor Voktrel's 3 arms slammed onto his console in frustration. How can a single species laugh in the face of our fleet? How can they predict every maneuver? Admiral Score remained silent, the bioluminescent crests along his back dimming with unease. Chancellor, their responses are adaptive. They learn faster than any species we've encountered. Our attack pattern is predictable to them because they anticipate it before it happens. Voktrel narrowed his eyes. Then we change it. Launch the secondary strike fleet. Use unpredictable maneuvers. Show them the might of the Zaltrians. Meanwhile, in Earth's orbit, Captain Arya Holt convened her fleet command. The Sentinel Horizon hovered at the center of the operational array, surrounded by hundreds of human vessels, each one fully operational and connected via a quantum communication network. Arya studied the Zaltrian fleet's telemetry. They're reorganizing. Expect another strike. Malik, run predictive simulations based on current movement patterns. Lieutenant Malik Wren tapped rapidly on the holographic console. Streams of data cascaded across the display. Captain, they're attempting 3 distinct flanking maneuvers. But our neural network predicts a 97.3% chance that their flanking vectors will intersect with our primary defense zones. We can exploit this. Arya nodded. Prepare counteroffensive squads. Deploy drones equipped with shield modulation. Keep adaptive shields active across all vessels. Let's turn their aggression into their own weakness. Human ingenuity was as much about psychology as technology. While the Zaltrians expected raw retaliation, the humans focused on creating controlled chaos. Drones would mimic fleet movements, drawing Zaltrian energy fire into empty space while the real vessels executed precise strikes. In the void near Zephyron Prime, the Zaltrian secondary fleet emerged. Sleek, triangular warships, bristling with crystal beam cannons, advanced at warp speed. They expected panic. They expected fear. Instead, they were met with organized laughter broadcast through universal channels. "Welcome back, Chancellor Voktrel," Arya's voice echoed calmly. "I hope you brought more than anger this time." Voktrel's tentacles twitched in fury. "They mock us. Destroy their communication relay." Energy flares streaked across space as the Zaltrians fired at human comm satellites. But the humans had anticipated the attack. The communications network was distributed and encrypted with quantum scrambling, impervious to conventional disruption. Every attempt at interception was futile. Admiral Score observed his fleet's performance with growing concern. "Chancellor, their ships adapt mid-battle. They are analyzing our energy signature patterns in real time. Every failed attack reinforces their defenses." Voktrel's eyes glowed with frustration. "We will overwhelm them." But the humans had already turned the tide. Human destroyers activated phased energy projectors, weapons designed to disrupt Zaltrian shield harmonics. When Zaltrian warships fired, part of their energy was reflected back, causing internal system feedback and temporary shutdowns. "Captain, the flagship Oblivion's Wrath is experiencing system instability," reported Malik. "Their power distribution is fluctuating. This is our chance." Arya gave a decisive command. "Deploy assault waves Gamma and Delta. Target their command and shield generators first. Focus on one vessel at a time, overwhelming their defenses with precise, adaptive fire." Across the battlefield, human strike groups surged. Each ship maneuvered in perfect harmony with others, guided by AI predictions that calculated every Zaltrian reaction before it could happen. Energy beams lit the darkness of space in arcs of brilliant blue and silver. On Zephyron Prime, young officers watched in disbelief as their warships faltered. How can they move like that? How can they anticipate our actions?" one muttered. "Human ingenuity," Score replied grimly. "They turn our aggression into opportunities. They are not just warriors, they are engineers of war itself." The battle raged for hours, yet every human maneuver showcased adaptability and preparation. Modular drones rebuilt shields in real time, fleets rotated dynamically to absorb energy blasts, and phased projectors turned enemy attacks against themselves. In the midst of the chaos, Arya addressed her crew. "Remember, victory is not in destruction alone. We show the galaxy what unity, innovation, and preparation can achieve. They may break peace, but we redefine the battlefield." The first major counterattack succeeded. 2/3 of the secondary Zaltrian fleet were disabled or retreating toward Zephyron Prime. The remaining warships attempted to regroup, but the humans anticipated every movement. Voktrel's fury reached a peak. "I underestimated them. Launch the third wave. Do not let them survive this." Arya's lips curled into a small smile. "Let them come. We are ready." From orbit, sensors detected the third wave approaching. These were the Zaltrian elite ships, piloted by veterans trained for centuries. But even they could not match the humans' combination of predictive AI, advanced engineering, and real-time adaptive tactics. As the third wave engaged, the human fleet demonstrated a critical principle. War was not just about firepower, it was about strategy, science, and understanding the enemy's psychology. Human vessels dodged, feinted, and countered with a precision that seemed impossible, overwhelming the Zaltrians at every turn. By the end of the day, Zephyron Prime's orbital space was littered with disabled Zaltrian warships. The humans had not only survived but had demonstrated that centuries of preparation, innovation, and adaptability could overcome sheer aggression. Voktrel's tentacles quivered. How do they fight like this?" Admiral Score sighed. "Chancellor, they are not just laughing at us. They are teaching us the price of underestimating knowledge and preparation." Arya Holt, aboard the Sentinel Horizon, addressed her fleet. "Hold positions and allow any survivors to retreat. Today is a demonstration. The galaxy has seen that peace may be broken, but humanity is never unprepared." For the first time, the Zaltrians understood that 3,000 years of peace had not made humanity weak, it had made them formidable. And the laughter that humans showed in the face of aggression was not arrogance, but confidence born from preparation, intelligence, and unity. The counteroffensive. The remnants of the Zaltrian secondary fleet limped back toward Zephyron Prime, leaving a trail of disabled warships and energy debris across orbit. Chancellor Voktrel's palace glowed with the pulsing light of incoming reports. Every sensor indicated the humans were not just surviving, they were pushing forward. Voktrel's tentacles quivered with rage. We underestimated them. This was our mistake. Admiral Scor's bioluminescent crest dimmed. Chancellor, the humans are not simply fighting. They are teaching. Every action we take, they adapt to it instantly. Our fleets are reacting too slowly to their counter-strategies. In the depths of the Sol system, Captain Arya Holt's fleet prepared for the next phase. The first engagement had been a demonstration, a test of the Zaltrians' resolve and humanity's adaptive tactics. Now it was time to push the counteroffensive beyond the orbital limits of Zephyron Prime. Arya studied the strategic map projected in holographic form across the Sentinel Horizons bridge. The Zaltrians' fleet reserves were regrouping in the Beta Archipelago cluster, a sparsely inhabited region of Zephyron's system. Several orbital mining stations and research satellites dotted the cluster, which the humans intended to secure before the Zaltrians could reclaim it. Lieutenant Malik, calculate the optimal approach vector to maximize shield coverage while minimizing exposure to crystal beam fire, Arya commanded. Malik's fingers danced across the console. Captain, we have 3 possible routes. Route Alpha allows maximum speed but risks exposure to their energy grid. Route Beta offers natural cover behind asteroid clusters. Route Gamma is slower but provides perfect shield angles for defensive formations. My recommendation, Gamma. Probability of success, 98%. Arya nodded. Gamma it is. Prepare drones and modular support units. This engagement will be more than tactics, it will be a lesson in engineering and ingenuity. Across Zephyron Prime, the Zaltrians were already debating their response. Some council members argued for full retaliation, others urged caution. Voktrel slammed a tentacle onto the table. We must destroy them before they enter the Beta Archipelago. Full strike. Activate orbital defense platforms and coordinate with remaining fleets. Score raised a cautious voice. Chancellor, if we concentrate all our forces, humans will predict our patterns. They have already adapted to 2 waves of attacks. A direct confrontation may lead to catastrophic losses. But Voktrel's anger overruled caution. Then we gamble everything. Show humanity the price of arrogance. As the human fleet moved along Route Gamma, the first contact with Zaltrian orbital defenses began. Giant energy cannons on floating platforms fired in synchronized volleys, lighting up the violet oceans and casting massive shadows across the archipelagos. Shields up. Arya commanded. Activate phase deflectors and deploy adaptive drones along the outer flank. Drones shot forward, weaving through energy fire, reflecting and dispersing blasts before the main fleet came into range. Human ships rotated dynamically, avoiding predictable trajectories and leaving the Zaltrians' targeting systems confounded. Within minutes, the first Zaltrian defense platform was disabled, its energy grid destabilized by precise, synchronized drone strikes. The humans did not destroy it entirely, they left it partially operational, a calculated decision to teach strategy rather than annihilation. Voktrel watched in disbelief as human destroyers bypassed defenses and targeted the primary Zaltrian energy relay. How can they penetrate our defenses with such precision? Admiral Score could only whisper. Preparation, Chancellor. And an understanding of physics that surpasses ours in application. As the humans advanced, Arya initiated the next phase. Orbital mining stations were captured non-lethally. Human engineers boarded abandoned stations, repairing and integrating them into fleet support networks. Power conduits were redirected to create mobile energy shields for advancing vessels. Captain, sensors detect a formation of elite Zaltrian ships attempting to flank from the Gamma asteroid belt, reported Lieutenant Wren. Arya considered for a moment. Divide Squadron Delta. Send half to intercept and create decoy patterns. The rest maintain formation with the main fleet. Let's see if they anticipate human ingenuity this time. The elite Zaltrian ships surged forward, expecting panic and disarray. Instead, they encountered the decoy patterns. Fleets maneuvered as though split into multiple squadrons, drones deployed false energy signatures, and modular units projected holographic replicas of the Sentinel horizon. Confusion erupted among the Zaltrians. One elite cruiser misfired and collided with its own fleet, causing a chain reaction that disabled 2 additional warships. Back on Zephyron Prime, council members stared in horror at the tactical displays. They anticipate our every move. Even our elite squads are falling into traps we never intended. Voktrel's tentacles twitched in frustration. This cannot continue. Bring in reinforcements. Arya and her crew had already anticipated the reinforcements. Using advanced predictive simulations and quantum communication networks, they adjusted fleet positions dynamically. When the Zaltrians arrived, they were met with precisely timed countermeasures, energy reflection grids, drone swarms, and concentrated defensive fire. The battle continued for hours. Human tactical thinking relied not on brute force but on science, coordination, and psychological understanding. Every engagement was a lesson in adaptive strategy, showing that intelligence and preparation could overcome aggression. By the end of the day, the Zaltrians had lost half of their remaining secondary and elite fleets. Orbital control of the Beta Archipelago cluster had shifted decisively to humanity. The humans had not only countered the attack, they had redefined the rules of engagement. Voktrel seethed. How can a species laugh at war and yet defeat us at every town? Admiral Score's crest pulsed dimly. They fight not with anger, Chancellor. They fight with preparation, science, and unity. That is their strength. On the Sentinel horizon, Arya addressed her fleet. Today we proved that preparation and ingenuity are more powerful than brute aggression. The galaxy will learn that humans do not merely react to war, they innovate and adapt faster than any species we know. And across the void, the Zaltrians began to understand a truth they had ignored for millennia: attacking humanity was no longer a simple matter of force. It was a challenge to a civilization whose intellect, strategy, and resilience had been honed over centuries of peace. The counteroffensive was only beginning. And humanity was laughing all the way into the heart of the enemy's territory. Into enemy territory. The remnants of the Zaltrian fleet retreated toward Zephyron Prime, but their home system was no longer a safe haven. Humanity had secured the Beta Archipelago cluster and established temporary orbital stations to monitor Zaltrian movements. The humans' rapid adaptability and tactical brilliance had shifted the momentum of the conflict. Captain Arya Holt convened her officers on the bridge of the Sentinel horizon, surrounded by hundreds of human vessels forming a protective web of shields and drones. Her calm voice cut through the hum of the fleet. Lieutenant Malik, assess enemy reinforcements. We cannot allow them to regroup in Zephyron Prime and rebuild their strength. Malik's fingers danced across the console. Sensors detect warp signatures deep within Zephyron's outer territories. Several Zaltrian reinforcements are en route, led by Admiral Corthel, one of their most experienced tacticians. Estimated arrival, 2 standard cycles. Arya's eyes narrowed. Good. Let's make sure they never reach the inner system intact. Prepare strike teams Theta and Sigma for deep space operations. We're going beyond orbital control, this is a direct projection into enemy territory. Meanwhile, in Zephyron Prime, the Alien Council was in uproar. The failure of the secondary fleet had exposed deep rifts in Zaltrian leadership. Some council members demanded retreat and negotiation, fearing total destruction. Others, like Chancellor Voktrel, insisted on aggressive retaliation. Voktrel slammed his tentacle against the council table. Enough hesitation. Humanity has shown us their strength. Now it is time to crush them before they solidify their advantage. Launch the outer fleets immediately. We cannot let them dictate terms in our space. Admiral Score tilted his head, his crest dimly glowing. Chancellor, they are prepared for full engagement. Even if we mobilize the outer fleets, they will anticipate our moves. We risk total annihilation. Voktrel's gaze was unyielding. Then we fight. Send the fleets and activate all orbital defense platforms. Humanity will learn the price of arrogance. As the Zaltrians mobilized, humanity had already crossed the threshold into enemy territory. Strike teams Theta and Sigma, composed of highly maneuverable cruisers and drone-assisted frigates, moved stealthily through the outer asteroid belt surrounding Zephyron Prime. The goal was to disable strategic relay stations, communications arrays, and mining installations vital to the Zaltrians' war production. Captain, reported Lieutenant Wren, the Zaltrians have deployed patrol fleets along the belts. They are scanning for intrusion, but our adaptive cloaking systems should allow us to bypass them undetected. Arya's voice was steady. Good. Maintain formation and avoid unnecessary conflict. Our objective is disruption, not annihilation. This is about strategy, intelligence, and teaching them the cost of aggression. Deep within the asteroid field, human ships maneuvered with surgical precision. The adaptive cloaking systems rendered vessels nearly invisible to Zaltrian sensors, while drones monitored enemy communications in real time. Every movement the humans made was calculated, using predictive AI to anticipate patrol patterns and defensive rotations. At the same time, back on Zephyron Prime, Admiral Corthel arrived with the outer fleets. His ships were larger, heavily armed, and piloted by elite crews trained for centuries in Zaltrian combat doctrine. Corthell was known for his cunning and ruthlessness, an unpredictable strategist in his own right. Chancellor Voxtrel, Corthell said, the humans will attempt to disrupt our outer territories. I suggest we meet them with overwhelming force and crush them before they can strike our vital installations. Voxtrel's tentacles twitched. Do not fail. Humanity must pay for their insolence. Back in the asteroid belts, human strike teams initiated their operations. Drones detached from frigates, infiltrating relay stations and reprogramming power grids. Energy conduits were redirected to create mobile shields for advancing ships, while small warships disabled Zaltrian defense turrets without a single casualty. The first clash with the outer fleet was inevitable. Elite Zaltrian cruisers moved to intercept, expecting panic or hesitation. Instead, they encountered the human strategy, a combination of diversionary holograms, synchronized attacks, and predictive maneuvers that neutralized their advantage. One Zaltrian cruiser, attempting a direct assault on the Sentinel horizon, miscalculated the trajectory of the human fleet and collided with an asteroid, disabling its engines entirely. Chaos spread through the outer fleet as drones deployed energy scramblers, temporarily shutting down weapons systems on multiple ships. Captain Arya issued calm orders. Maintain formation. Focus on relay stations first. Strike teams, you have the green light. Human strike groups infiltrated critical facilities on outer colonies and mining stations. Engineers reactivated abandoned Zaltrian power grids and integrated them with mobile support units, creating a flexible network of energy shields and operational platforms. Every action combined tactical warfare with practical engineering lessons, demonstrating adaptability, problem-solving, and strategic thinking. The outer fleet attempted to regroup, but the humans anticipated every maneuver. AI-assisted coordination allowed ships to predict enemy flanking, neutralize incoming fire, and maintain offensive pressure simultaneously. Hours into the campaign, the Zaltrians suffered severe losses. Communication lines were disrupted, warp conduits disabled, and orbital defenses rendered ineffective. Corthell's elite fleet had failed to protect their outer territories. On Zephyron Prime, Chancellor Voxtrel's tentacles twitched uncontrollably. They are everywhere. How can a species laugh while dismantling our systems with such precision? Admiral Score could only respond, his crest dimmed in resignation. Chancellor, this is not arrogance. It is preparation, intellect, and coordinated action. They have turned knowledge into weaponry. Meanwhile, in the Sentinel horizon, Captain Arya Holt addressed her crews. Today we have penetrated the heart of enemy territory, not with brute force, but with intelligence, preparation, and innovation. Humanity fights with strategy, unity, and ingenuity. This is a lesson the galaxy must learn. By the end of the day, Zaltrian outer territories were under human control or neutralized. Humanity had demonstrated that preparation, intelligence, and tactical execution could overcome even the most experienced adversaries. The humans were not just laughing, they were teaching. Every move sent a clear message. Aggression alone would not succeed against a species united by ingenuity, science, and strategic foresight. Siege of Zephyron Prime. The outer territories of Zephyron Prime were under human control. The Zaltrians were reeling from the unexpected efficiency and adaptability of the human fleet. Council debates turned into arguments, and whispers of mutiny spread through the ranks. Some factions questioned Chancellor Voxtrel's judgment. Voxtrel slammed a tentacle against the council chamber console. Enough. Humanity will not dictate terms in our space. We will defend our homeworld at all costs. Prepare orbital defenses and activate every remaining warship. Admiral Score's crest dimmed. Chancellor, even if we muster all forces, the humans anticipate every move. Your fleet has suffered enormous losses already. Direct confrontation may be catastrophic. But Voxtrel refused to heed the warning. Then we adapt as we must. Humanity will learn the consequences of underestimating the Zaltrians. Meanwhile, in orbit around Zephyron Prime, Captain Arya Holt prepared her fleet for the next phase, a direct siege on the homeworld itself. The human fleet was reinforced with additional cruisers, modular drones, and energy-absorbing support units. Each ship carried advanced AI capable of instant analysis of enemy behavior, allowing predictive countermeasures before any attack could land. Lieutenant Malik Wren studied the star maps. Captain, the orbital defense platforms are fully operational, and their remaining fleets are concentrated near the equatorial zones. They expect a frontal assault. Arya's eyes gleamed. Then we won't give them one. Prepare lateral entry vectors and deploy stealth drones along multiple polar corridors. We'll disrupt their energy distribution before they can coordinate a unified defense. As the human fleet advanced, the Zaltrians fired their first volleys from orbital platforms. Energy beams struck with deadly accuracy, but phased shields and adaptive drone swarms dispersed much of the damage. Strategic countermeasures reflected parts of the energy back toward enemy batteries, causing internal feedback and disabling several turrets. Deep inside Zephyron Prime, human infiltration teams prepared to disable key planetary infrastructure. Engineers worked alongside tactical units to create mobile relay stations, repair orbital defenses, and integrate captured energy grids into human support networks. Every action reinforced the message: humanity fought with intelligence, preparation, and foresight, not just brute force. Voktrel's panic increased as the human fleet bypassed frontal defenses and moved along polar corridors. Elite human strike teams disrupted Zaltrian communication networks, creating confusion among the remaining ships. The planetary AI defense systems were gradually neutralized through precise strikes and strategic interference. From the Sentinel horizon, Arya gave clear commands. All fleets maintain rotation. Strike teams, prioritize energy nodes and communication hubs. Keep drones active and shields fully operational. Let them see that aggression against humanity is futile. Zaltrian pilots struggled to adapt. Even their elite squadrons were systematically countered by human tactics. Predictive AI, adaptive shields, and modular drones allowed the humans to anticipate flanking maneuvers, neutralize elite units, and maintain overwhelming positional advantage. Hours into the siege, chaos spread across Zephyron Prime's orbital defenses. Energy grids flickered, orbital turrets malfunctioned, and several warships were disabled without direct engagement. Human precision and preparation had created a controlled battlefield where Zaltrians were reacting to humanity's moves rather than executing their own strategies. On the council chamber, whispers turned to outright mutiny. "Chancellor, we cannot withstand their siege." "We must negotiate," said a senior council member. Others agreed silently. Voktrel's face twisted in rage. Admiral Skor spoke quietly. "Chancellor, the humans are not cruel. They demonstrate consequences through efficiency and strategy, not wanton destruction. They fight with knowledge and unity, not just firepower." Voktrel slammed his tentacle once more, but the council's murmurs grew louder. Even among the loyalists, doubt crept in. Humanity's laughter, once seen as mockery, now carried the weight of inevitable understanding. From orbit, the humans executed the final phase. Strike teams entered Zephyron Prime's upper atmosphere using stealth shuttles. Engineers deployed devices that redistributed energy flows across the planetary grid, weakening shield generators and disabling orbital weapons remotely. Drones monitored all movements, providing real-time adaptive guidance to human fleet commanders. Captain Arya addressed her crew. "We are not here to destroy their world. We are here to show that preparation, ingenuity, and unity triumph over aggression. Today we demonstrate that the galaxy cannot be ruled through fear alone." By the end of the cycle, Zephyron Prime's orbital defenses were largely neutralized, and the Zaltrian fleet was fragmented. Human control over strategic positions around the planet was absolute, though no civilian populations were harmed. The humans' campaign was precise, calculated, and educational in its demonstration of efficiency, coordination, and advanced tactics. Voktrel sat in silence, staring at the tactical displays. For the first time, he realized that attacking humanity was not simply a matter of power, it was a test of intellect, preparation, and adaptability. Humanity had not only countered aggression, they had redefined the rules of engagement for the entire galaxy. The siege had proven that preparation and intelligence could overcome centuries of aggression and fear. Humanity's laughter was no longer casual, it was a statement. The final phase was approaching. The humans were ready to enter Zephyron Prime itself, but the lessons of efficiency, strategy, and adaptability had already been learned by the Zaltrians. The final confrontation. Zephyron Prime hung in the darkness of space, its violet oceans shimmering beneath the battered orbital defenses. The Zaltrian fleet was fragmented, their elite warships crippled, and the council divided. Humanity's advance had been methodical, precise, and educational in its demonstration of strategy, technology, and unity. Captain Arya Holt stood on the bridge of the Sentinel horizon, surrounded by her fleet. Hundreds of human ships moved in perfect formation, drones and support units extending the fleet's reach. Their goal was clear: the heart of Zaltrian power, the capital orbit and Chancellor Voktrel's flagship, Oblivion's Wrath. Lieutenant Malik Wren studied the holographic display. Captain, all outer defenses are neutralized. Orbital shields are at minimal capacity. If we maintain our current pace, we can reach the central command within 2 standard cycles. Arya's eyes glimmered. Prepare strike teams for precise engagement. We do not destroy unnecessarily. We demonstrate superiority through strategy, intelligence, and coordination. Humanity's victory is in their understanding, not just in firepower. Meanwhile, aboard Oblivion's Wrath, Chancellor Voktrel paced furiously. His tentacles knocked consoles and screens as reports of failure streamed in. Even Admiral Score's voice offered no comfort. Chancellor, Score said cautiously, they anticipate every maneuver. Our fleets cannot outthink them. Perhaps, we should consider negotiation. Voktrel's eyes blazed. Negotiate? With a species that laughs at war? Never. We will fight. Humanity will pay for their insolence. The humans advanced. From the Sentinel horizon, Arya initiated the final phase of the campaign. Stealth drones infiltrated the flagship's periphery, mapping energy conduits and identifying weak points in the shield arrays. Modular support units were deployed around the flagship, creating adaptive energy fields to neutralize crystal beam fire. As the first volley struck, the humans executed a perfect combination of distraction, defense, and precision strikes. Energy beams were reflected, shields rotated dynamically, and drone swarms disrupted the enemy targeting systems. The Zaltrians' most experienced pilots struggled to respond, their attempts anticipated and countered at every turn. Arya addressed her fleet. This is the moment to demonstrate that knowledge, preparation, and unity overcome aggression. Strike teams, disable communication arrays and energy grids. Keep civilian populations and planetary infrastructure intact. Humanity's victory is in its intelligence, not devastation. From the bridge of Oblivion's Wrath, Voktrel's rage escalated. How can a species laugh while dismantling my defenses? How can they anticipate every move? Score's crest dimmed as he observed. Chancellor, they fight not with arrogance, but with calculated knowledge. Every human maneuver teaches us our failures. Their laughter is not mockery. It is confidence born from preparation and unity. Human strike teams moved with precision, disabling key systems across the flagship. Energy conduits were rerouted, weapons temporarily neutralized, and shields weakened systematically. The humans did not destroy, they incapacitated, demonstrating mastery without unnecessary loss. Voktrel's tentacles twitched violently. We will not yield. Arya's voice echoed through universal communication channels. Calm, firm, and filled with quiet authority, she spoke directly to the Zaltrian leader. Chancellor Voktrel, your aggression has been met with preparation, intelligence, and unity. Humanity does not fear war, but we do not seek unnecessary destruction. Your fleets are disabled, your command structure disrupted, and your strategy exposed. The galaxy has learned that aggression alone cannot triumph over ingenuity. Voktrel recoiled at the words. His council murmured in fear and awe. The realization spread, humanity's strength was not in weapons alone, but in coordination, adaptability, and innovation. Score's crest glowed faintly. Chancellor, perhaps it is time to reconsider our course. The humans, they are extraordinary. Arya ordered the final maneuver. Encircle the flagship and deploy containment drones. Voktrel, you have an opportunity to end this without further loss. Surrender your fleet and engage in dialogue. Humanity fights to teach, not to destroy. The orbital flagship flared as the containment drones stabilized it. The humans' calm precision and efficiency left no room for counterattack. For the first time in millennia, the Zaltrians felt the weight of strategic defeat, but without annihilation. Voktrel's voice was low, hesitant. What is your intent? Arya's eyes softened. Our intent is clear, peace enforced through understanding, not fear. You attacked without cause. Humanity responded with preparation, strategy, and ingenuity. You have been shown that aggression is not power, knowledge, unity, and intelligence are. The Council, witnessing the humans' restraint and capability, began to reconsider. Some Council members stepped forward, proposing terms for immediate ceasefire and negotiations. The remaining Zaltrian fleet signaled surrender. Humanity had achieved a decisive victory, not through destruction, but through superior planning, technology, and intelligence. They had demonstrated the value of preparation, adaptability, and scientific application in conflict. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. Arya addressed her fleet. Today, we have taught the galaxy that aggression without understanding is weakness. We have defended our people and shown the value of ingenuity, preparation, and unity. Humanity laughs not because we are fearless, but because we are confident in our knowledge and capability. From the flagship of the Zaltrians, Voktrel finally bowed his head in reluctant respect. The lesson had been learned. 3,000 years of peace had not made humanity weak. It had made them formidable beyond comprehension, and their laughter had carried the weight of inevitability. The humans had not just won a battle, they had redefined the meaning of strength in the galaxy. Intelligence, preparation, and unity had triumphed over aggression, and the legacy of humanity's ingenuity would echo across the stars for millennia to come. The laughter of humanity resounded in the void of space, a sound of confidence, resilience, and victory.